Greetings. This is Thursday, August 17th at 11 a.m. You are looking at an image south of Cache Creek shortly after the Elephant Hill fire started, and we can see smoke rising from the fire that struck the Cache Creek hills. There have been issues with the satellite system modus, and I went on a little hunt to see if I could learn what might be happening. This is the Level 1 Atmospheric Archive and Distribution System. LADS is having hardware issues which may cause some Modus C6 and VIIRS data directories that should contain files to appear empty. What is this C6 and does it affect us? Well, it's collection 6, and yes, they are upgrading, and they've been doing so since 2016, and now they're having a bit of an issue which they're working on. And it basically says that some products can't be produced until the standard products are produced. So back of the line potentially for our level 2 Modus system that we've been relying on for infrared. I am seeing infrared, and that appears on NASA's Worldview, and as you can see by this map of today, we are catching infrared primarily in the Cariboo and some in Washington. So this may be due to cloud cover, but we can't see the cloud cover because level 0 is being updated. Here is the radiative power being emitted by the fire within the Elephant Hill perimeter. And you can tell by the red, yellow, orange, and then fading into green, these are the hot spots where most of the volatility or thermal intensity, I guess, is occurring. Now we're going to take a look at an infrared map provided by the NRC. And on the eastern flank, there's a small group of infrared hotspots indicated approximately maybe 2.5 kilometers south of Hanceville. Now, if we were to look at that in the radiative power mapping system, we can see that intensity indicated in red, some yellow, orange, and that's directly south of Hanceville. So we're getting some confirmation from different systems. Here is a close-up back looking at the infrared in that region, and here we can see where the activity is, significantly south of the lake, approximately 2 kilometers, and we may be getting more western flow in the winds, and that could help them out. Here we are looking back at the overview of the Elephant Hill perimeter as displayed in radiative power. So where the red, green, yellow, and orange, that's primarily where the focal points are. I will say that I'm not seeing any significant increase in intensity or radiative power at this time. I'd like to jump into the Cariboo right now and just take a look at the Hanceville fire. That's Hanceville, Alexis Creek, Riske Creek, and just see what's going on, and specifically the satellite data that we can gather on this Android screen. The information from BC wildfire indicates over 215,000 hectares. It was started on Saturday, July 8th. I did a rough calculation using the scale on screen, and I'm seeing 70 kilometers north to south and approximately 80 kilometers west to east. It's a massive amount of territory, and through the middle of it runs Highway 20 and the Chilcotin River. Within the perimeter, there's the three main communities of Riske Creek, Hanceville in the center, and Alexis Creek on the western side. Also, there's ranches and park areas, lakes, smaller hamlets and vales where people are living in farms and outlying communities. This is both a populated area and it has an extensive wilderness. So here we're just looking at a screen of the satellite calculations on perimeter size, and that can be compared with the official data. I'm seeing 3,000 hectares less than the official report. This is a look at the terrain. You can see the river valley flowing through the center of it, and you can see the Fraser Canyon on the right-hand side of your screen, and that flows up towards Williams Lake. This is the perimeter overlaid on the satellite, and we can see with the infrared where those hot spots are. The western flank should be receiving favorable winds right now, and that may help to keep that fire front at bay. However, it's may conflict with the efforts going on in the southeast flank, where I see two areas of volatility, and we see the area southwest of Riske Creek, that's Harper Lake, and we're going to take a closer look because there may be a planned burn going on there right now. To the north, at the top of the map, we can see another fire there, and that's just southeast of White Pelican Park, north of Riske Creek, and that may have been another fire that was started July 12th and at Stum Lake, and it was originally, I believe, 2.5 hectares, and it looks like it has grown. We're going to take a look at the 12-hour map right now. This is everything that's going on in the infrared that's new in the last 12 hours, and all of those areas are indicated. Now we are going to the 6-hour map, what is new. So within 6 hours, the fire has not grown considerably. I see in the southwest there are some hot spots, and here we can see it on a graphic screen. That's all the new infrared indicated, and primarily in existing areas of volatility. Now we're going to jump over to the Google KML bundle that's made available through RSAC. The link is below. And here we get to see some pretty good time delineated infrared data. The yellow is the oldest, from 24 to 12 hours. The red and orange are the youngest, less than 12 hours old. And we see that build along the western flank. Hopefully the winds will aid them in pushing that back. I'm also seeing 4 new areas south of the Chilcotin, 2 south of Hanceville, approximately 15 and 20 kilometers, and south of Riske Creek across the river, approximately 2 to 3 kilometers, and then 20 kilometers. I'm also seeing new intensity in the northern section southeast of White Pelican Park, and that looks like that's fractured or fragmented into 4 pockets of new development. Now we're rolling over into the radiative power mapping system, and this is showing us where is the energy coming from. Where are the pockets of high volatility? And we can see that indicated by the red, yellow, then turning to light green, green, and purple and blue are the coolest or least energetic areas. So again, in the far southwest, in the far southeast, in the north flank, north of Hanceville, and in the region to the south of Riske Creek. Now we're going to look northward from an angle so that we can get a lay of the land. We can see the Chilcotin River Valley flowing through the center of this fire zone. We can see the Fraser Canyon on the top right portion of your screen as it heads towards Williams Lake. What I'm seeing is how with strong winds, a fire on the Fraser Plateau can roll quite quickly and cover a lot of territory relatively unchecked by mountainous terrain. There are a lot of lakes in this area, but they're smaller, and there is extensive forestation. I'd like to turn now to Harper Lake, and that's the body of water left of center on your screen. It's right next to Highway 20, slightly south, and we see this area of intensity to the southeast, and this is where they were planning a controlled burn next to Harper Lake. We're now looking southeast from Highway 20. We see the hillside and the terrain, and we can see, indicated by both dots and those patches, which give a random area of about a kilometer variation in where the fire might be. This is from the street view and showing those hills in the distance. So it gives you a perspective on what you might see if you were around there and what the forestation might look like. Here we're moving to the far west of this fire perimeter to Alexis Creek, and we can see stretching south and southeastwards just this vast territory of land, and now where all the intensity is pushed out onto the southwestern perimeter. We can see some radiative intensity indicated in the river valley close to these fields. These spots can be up to a kilometer off from their intended location, and that's why you're seeing a square, just to show where it may be placed. And this is not showing the full extent of the fire. This is only reading perceptible radiant intensity or radiative power available to the MODIS satellite system at this time. I've zoomed back now, and we're looking from the same position from the northwest to the southeast, and I want you to see in the distance on the horizon across the Fraser River is the Elephant Hill wildfire. So I hope this gives you an idea of the task at hand to the wildfire fighters and all the crews that are dealing with this, the communities that are battling it as well, and all the integrated resources that have to come together to pull this off and suppress and extinguish this volatile situation that's just occupied so much of our lives this summer. Okay, let's take a look at windy, and specifically for this region I'm looking at 5 kilometers an hour coming primarily from the west-southwest, and as you can see it's a fairly consistent flow. It's coming from the west at the coast and then kind of rolling down towards the Fraser River and then heading southward. If we look at the forecast, a lot of clouds, some low-lying cloud coming in Friday night, Saturday morning. There should be a lightning watch at that point, and I'm seeing generally overcast, cooler temperatures, and not a lot of wind velocity. Looking at another computer model, a bit of an increase in the wind on the afternoon periods, that 3 o'clock breeze, and more cloud cover Saturday, Sunday. That'll be a time to watch, and the winds should prevail from the west, but there's a lot of variation, and you can see it here. We have this buildup of wind and pressure, and it starts jutting forth from the northwest, then from the southwest, and as you move across the province, that's going to alter depending on your situation, plateaus, ridges, gullies. I am drawn back to those 6-hour infrared hotspots that were indicated. these are the areas where growth has to be cut off. And I'm pretty confident in suggesting that these are the areas where crews are now concentrating, where the battle is on, and where they are putting this fire back into its perimeter. And I hope this week marks a definite decrease in volatility on this entire fire front for those communities in this area. Thank you for coming along with me to learn about the wildfire that's now affecting Hanceville, Riske Creek, Alexis Creek, and all the communities in between. It was an opportunity to look at the satellite data and learn a little bit more about what's happening to our neighbors just to the north of us. Thank you for watching, and be safe, everyone.